Yo, Prince one of them ones, I'm in the mix. Talking hoops, dropping gems, let's fix. Women's ball, we elevate, bring it to the mainstream. Key coming with facts, we a dream team. Break down plays, ain't no cliches. From the court to the screen, every detail displayed. Got the WNBA shining bright. Click the like button if you feeling it right. Excuse the takeover, taking charge. Women's game front and center, living large. Hit that subscribe, stay tuned to the ride. We bringing the heat, never gonna hide. From sky hooks to swishes, we capture the wishes of ballers making waves in the biggest of dishes. Prince one and Key got the knowledge artillery, dropping truth bombs effectively, brilliantly. Excuse the takeover, taking charge. Women's game front and center, living large. Hit that subscribe, stay tuned to the ride. We bringing the heat, never gonna hide. Analyzing chat, every stat interact, breaking barriers. No cap, that's a fact. Leave a comment below, watch the growth unfold. Together we gon' make this story be told.
Welcome back, everybody, to Excuse the Takeover. You know, where we giving our latest and greatest takes on women's basketball. Obviously, every week we just have so much to talk about. But for sure, this week we know the draft is coming up on the 14th, so we're gonna get into some things. Listen, everybody, come on in, settle down, get ready, because we're gonna get right into some of these topics. I know a lot of y'all sometimes want your questions answered, want some insights and everything like that. The chat be going fast. It's a lot of people in here at one time. So feel free to super chat. You know, nothing is too small or too big to get your questions answered about the draft coming up, who we think is going where, etc. We're going to get a little bit into that. But shout out to y'all for coming through week in and week out. Seriously, shout out to y'all. I see some new people sometimes, and also our loyal supporters. Thank y'all so much for coming through and supporting the show. It will be nothing without y'all. But how you doing, Prince? How you feeling?
Look, I'm doing good, man. We got some good topics to discuss heading into the draft. Especially with the transfer portal underway. Some cool topics. So I'm actually excited, man, to kind of like get into this and kind of like figure out what's going on around the basketball world.
For sure. I see you, chat. I see everybody talking about how they're excited. I'm excited too. Let me take y'all through some nostalgia for real, though. I mean, a year ago or about a year ago, coming up next week, we saw one of the best drafts that ever, you know, has existed. I think men or women, seriously. Cam Brink going to the Sparks, Rakia Jackson. Everybody was on pins and needles thinking of where they wanted people to go or thought people were going to go. I'm going to be honest with y'all. You know, I didn't think Angel was going to drop past 3. I thought they were going to pick Angel where they picked Cam or Rakia. I was shocked to see that LA didn't. In my head, I was like, you know, she has the star power, the type of team that is. I'm comparing them to the Lakers, things of that nature. So I was shocked to see, you know, her go, you know, lower than that. I don't see nothing wrong with number 7. It's still the first round, but for me, it was who was going to pick her. I was shocked to see that it was the Chicago Sky. And then when I saw that they got Camilla with her, you know, and them being the Twin Towers, the irony of them battling out for years, I thought that was pretty cool. Everybody kind of expected to see Caitlin go number 1, just like we're expecting to see Paige. So that wasn't a real big thing. We saw JC Sheldon go to Dallas. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely interesting watching the draft last year. I feel like I was watching it through what's the word I'm looking for? Virgin eyes. I played basketball when I was younger. I've always loved basketball. Allen Iverson is my favorite player to this day.
Shout out to AI. Shout out to AI. Hey, you look like AI's sister.
I love him so much to this day. He was such a cultural reset in every which way on and off the court. But after a while, I lost my love and I didn't watch it for a while. And to be honest, LSU and Angel Reese brought me back to it. So this draft was my first. It was my first draft for a long time, y'all. So this will be my second draft coming up. So that's why I had to take us through nostalgia, y'all, because I'm just like, wow, watching it last
Okay,
year
okay,
was one thing. I was definitely shocked.
okay.
I didn't know what to expect. But this year, I kind of get it now. I understand. I understand how the WNBA chooses versus the NBA, things of that nature. So I'm excited to see, what goes on in this draft and some oohs, some ahs, and some wows, some things we weren't expecting. So let's get into that, y'all. Let's get into it. 1 week away, April 14th, the Shed at Hudson Yards, New York City at 7:30 Eastern ESPN on ESPN. I'm sure we'll be able to watch it a few different places as well. So just make sure you check what streaming services it'll be on, y'all. And at the end of this, we'll let you know, how y'all can rock with us during it, because we'll definitely be live during the draft. But did you get to see the draft last year, Prince? And if not, did you get
Yes,
to
I did.
rewatch it? Okay,
I
you
did.
watched it live?
Yeah. I watched it live. I was intrigued. I mean, you had a couple players. I was intrigued. Like, I ain't gonna lie, at Tennessee, Rakia Jackson stood out to me. I wanted to really see where she would land because I know she has a bucket getter's kind of like skill set, the 1-2 dribble pull up, getting to the right elbow, things like that, like being able to come off a screen, short curls. So I was interested to see like where she landed, because she can definitely fill up a stat sheet as far as like points go. Another player I was interested in seeing where they landed was Camilla. I wanted her to go to a team that had a system to where she could run through the high post, because at South Carolina, that's what she did. She ran the high post for Dawn Staley, kicking it out to shooters, taking the little 15-footer. So I wanted to see her. That was my two most intriguing. I ain't gonna lie, like going into the draft, I was surprised where Angel Reese landed, but like I already was like, whatever team she goes to, she's gonna be a workhorse. I wanted to see like where those two went, Camilla and Rakia Jackson, just because of their specific skill sets. Mm-hmm. Like they need to be in like certain systems to really show their specific skill sets. Cameron Brink, Cameron Brink's I already knew where Caitlin Clark was going, and your Cameron Brink and Angel Reese, they just kind of fit in because of their skill set. Their skill set is like so versatile. Like Cam, no matter what team she goes to, she gonna block shots. Angel Reese, no matter what team she goes to, she gonna get rebounds. So I was really interested on those two, and I think both of them ended up on good squads. Honestly, to see what it looks like in a year or two. But like Angel Reese going at number 7 was a draft surprise. But outside of that, that was the two I was like keeping my eye on. Like, who's drafting these two? That was the two I was keeping my eye on.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. I mean, you know what? So, tell me if I'm lying, chat. A lot of people wanted to see Rakia and Angel on the same team. They felt like that would be kind of duo. I don't think I would hate to see it in the future. I feel like it is like a combo. I kind of would see Rakia at the 3, Angel at the 4. So I know some people did want to see that, and that was the whole, she could have went to the Sparks and, plus the star power and stuff. But I mean, everybody, to me, hindsight's 2020. I feel as though everybody landed exactly where they should have. It's perfect. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it could have went any better than that. Because even if, let's say, Angel would have went to clear, I think Minnesota would have had a championship right now if she would have went to Minnesota. However, Cheryl Reeves doesn't really play her rookies. I will say if she would have went to the Sparks, Kurt would have definitely played Angel. He loves her skill set. He loves what he does. I think he definitely wanted her. But at the end of the day, I think she needed a teaspoon. Things just work out exactly how they should. So shout out to that draft class ushering in this new one that we're gonna see. Do you think that there'll be any draft night trades? What are you thinking?
I could see Seattle last minute if they don't like what they see. I could see Seattle last minute making a trade. Ironically, a team that doesn't have a first round pick, where Chicago actually has their top second round pick. I can see the Aces trying to get back in the first round. I think they need another big. It depends on if a big they're looking for gets drafted, is on the board to get drafted kind of earlier. They're getting a lot of buzz going into the draft with all the players going back to school, transfer portal, things like that. So I think I can see the Aces trying to get back in the first round. It depends on what big is available that they feel that they can get in the second round, because they do got a second round pick. So I'm interested because they forfeited their first round pick and they gave their second highest draft pick to the Chicago for Dana Evans. So I'm interested to see what the Aces do. Another shocker team. I'm interested to see if Chicago Sky take one of those picks for next year's draft and put it back into this year's draft. So I'm interested to see if they trade up on a draft night, maybe packaging their 16th and I think they have the 22nd or 21st pick. I forgot when it is. Packaging both of those and maybe a second round pick next year to get back in the first round this year, because there is definitely some top 5 potential picks that could benefit being on the Chicago Sky. So that's the 3 teams right there.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head for the 3 teams. I could see Chicago, Seattle, like you said. But are you thinking Seattle trades the number 2 pick for a future pick from a different team? Is that what you think?
No, because they see Seattle is in a weird position, right? Because it's like one of those. I think they got 1 year left with this group. So Seattle is in a weird position because key is like, do I trade this pick for the future, or do I get my future now while still trying to find somebody that can impact next year's championship run? They're in like a weird spot, and they got the number 2 pick. They're in a very weird spot.
That's why the Olivia Miles talked to me before, because I'm like, if you pick Olivia Miles, you're picking Olivia Miles for a rebuild. You're not picking her to win this year. So yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what y'all are doing. Like, that's the Seattle Star. I definitely feel like they're in a weird space, because it's like, are y'all in? We're finna win now, so we got to go all in and get as much pieces as we get to win now, or to at least just make that run. To honor the fact that we got Nneka Ogwumike and the fact that we got a Skylar Diggins, wanting to honor those players and their want to win a championship. Or do we get into rebuild mode? And I would think that they're trying to make a championship run, and then next year when the CBA blows up, they just let the chips fall where they may. Seattle may be in a rebuild next year. But I think this year I want to say that they really are trying to win a championship. So with that being said, yeah, they might do away with look. If they do use the number 2 pick, I'm telling you, Sonia Citron or Cheyenne Sellers.
I can see that.
That's it. Sonia Citron. If they use the pick and they're still in win now mode, and even for the future, obviously a Sonia Citron or a Cheyenne Sellers is great for the future. But if you're using the pick, those are the players I think you pick for your for a win now and for your future to like complement both. But if it's just for the future, then go ahead and pick anybody or trade away that pick. Because you try.
But Keith, they're in a particular spot because when you got the number 2 pick, you're drafting somebody at that spot who's probably looking to come in and fight for a starting spot because they're a high caliber player coming out of college. So that's why I said with that number 2 pick, they're in a weird spot because they got so many things going against them with that number 2 pick, according to the type of team they have coming back next year. Skylar is going to be starting. Nneka's going to be starting. I know Harston is out, so Sonia Citron does make sense at number 2. I think she can have immediate impact and help you now. So they're in a particular spot because it's like, okay, Nneka might be gone next year. Diggins might be gone after next year, so now I need a point guard and now I need another big. So
Nah,
it's like
everything.
they're in a very weird spot.
But that's what I'm saying. They gotta
big.
choose. They gotta choose what they're gonna do because that's why I said I think next year Seattle likely will be in a rebuild space because I do think NECA and Skylar walk next year. I could be wrong though, but I do think that they walk next year. I'm not gonna lie. But we'll see. I can see Chicago, like you said, doing some trades or something like that because we got 10, 16, and 22, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a toss-up what you do with that, who you pick with that, and we only got but so many spots, things of that nature. And look, if they keep it, I say let everybody battle it the hell out and you pick the top talent in the training camp. But I don't know how they feel about that. They might feel like it's not valuable enough and just, trade it, or it is of value, but they should trade it away. So I can see that too. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I firmly believe that it's going to be some gasping on draft night this year on who gets picked and what, because people Olivia Miles was like, I'm not going, or this or that person said, I'm not going. I think everybody is in for a shocker on who these teams actually pick. Seriously. I don't think like I said, last year, Angel dropping a 7 was like, but we already know people kind of sleep on her, whatever. It still fit. That was probably the only but last year's draft was like, it made sense. This year, I think it's definitely going to be some I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't expect that person to go that high or that low, or for them to pick that person, or I thought they would pick this person. I think this year is going to shock some people for sure. So, I mean, we definitely going to see. I'm interested to see that. But furthermore, Paigebueckers is projected to be the number 1 pick for Dallas. That's not going to be the shocker. We definitely expect that. But what's your overall feelings towards the WNBA draft this year? How you feeling about it?
I was beginning of the season before transfers happened, before things settled down. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of excited for this draft. I was feeling like this was gonna be a top 3-4 draft in the last 5 years. I was actually excited for it. It's kind of losing its steam because you got players that's going to be probably selected 2 and 3 that in normal drafts would probably be late first round picks. So it's losing its momentum. But I think it's full of some competent role players. I don't think this some training camp first round invites. I think all of these first round picks, contrary to other years, a lot of people when you hear people talk about first round picks, you hear videos, you hear chat talk about it, things like that when you're on panels and stuff. A lot of people forget only 14% of first round picks last more than 2 years in the WNBA. So everybody's looking for the next superstar, but that doesn't happen every year, and it's not a normal thing, and teams know that. So anything outside of your top 2-3 picks, you're really just taking a chance, seeing how it works and mesh with your team, seeing what they could become. But it isn't a surefire like when you think about other leagues, right? It's when I was looking at that stat, I was real shocked. 14% of first round draft picks last more than 2 to 3 years in the WNBA. That's very shocking. But I could see that when you think about the amount of teams you have, a lot of older veterans kind of stick around in the WNBA versus other leagues where when you reach 35, you're in your last 2 to 3 years. They end up playing till they 37, 38. Taurasi played till she was 40. So you get a lot of them kind of hanging around still and starting lineups, still getting rotational minutes even if they're not starting. So I kind of see that, and then you got limited roster spots, of course. So I kind of see that, but I'm in a wait and see, because I looked at it at the beginning and was like, some of these players can have a huge impact on a championship team. But now that I think about it, I don't really know how many of these players are going to be going to championship teams. Because I mean, the Aces don't got a pick. The Liberty act like they don't want their picks. I mean, I'm interested to see like what's Connecticut ain't in contention no more. Mystics got 3 first-round picks and they're not in contention right now. So it's like the picks are everywhere. I think I don't know, man. I think I think some of these players that are staying back might be a good thing. It's just, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm starting to think it might be a good thing. You know, that's why I'm landing there with it.
Yeah, I mean, my feelings towards the WNBA draft is, I mean, I feel excited. It's another year for some new talent to come in the league and for us to build on that. But I feel what you're saying. Unfortunately, right? I don't want to disrespect the people who have been here, who have built the leagues, all of that stuff. But the old guard is still here. You could tell a lot of these managers, GMs, and organizations still believe in the old guard. They don't believe in where we're going yet. They're kind of scared to take that leap. Let me try to think of a metaphor for my people in the chat. It's kind of like if you got
with the metaphors.
It's kind of like if you got a business idea and something's been working for you. Let's say this, right? Y'all, let me put y'all on game. So I've ran vending machine business, right? So vending machines, drinks, snacks, you know, whatever. Cool. That's the surefire way you're gonna make money doing that. But somebody comes to me as a vending machine owner and says, "Hey, I got micro markets. It's more expensive, but you'll make more money. It's the new way. It's the new innovative way. La la la, whatever." And I'm just like, "But this, I've done vending machines. I know it works. I got less chance of this, like this, you know, just all this stuff, right?" So y'all walk with me. The vending machines is for the chips and the drinks is the old guard, and the micro market is the new guard, is the new talent, the new players, the new direction that the league wants to. And if it wants to survive, honest to God, needs to go in. And it's like they kind of just stuck in a weird spot where they don't know if they want to make that leap, because the reality is you might have some teams that are kind of bottom of the barrel, aren't really that good, because these players have to come in and they have to hone their talents a little bit more. The WNBA, to me, even more than the NBA, is the hardest league, just of the simple fact of what the stat that Zoe just said. He said only 14%. That's, when you think about that, that's insanity. You know what I mean? It's a dude from France where he went to the Wizards and he didn't even do that good his rookie year. I can't remember his name. He was the #1 draft pick from over there, from in the NBA this year. I can't remember his name. And he wasn't that amazing of a rookie this year. I think he
he went to Atlanta. You talking about
Okay.
Yeah, it was Atlanta. Yeah.
Atlanta. Okay. But
he went to Atlanta. He's from France. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's gonna be fine because of what the NBA is, how many teams, etc., the talent. But in the WNBA, bro, you could be that one. It's #1 picks that are playing overseas right now. Like, it's crazy work, you know, and not by choice. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the girls' name is like Charlie or something like that. Golly, I can't remember her name. She was a #1 draft pick, and she overseas right now. So I'm good about it, but I also feel what Prince is saying, where it's like it really just kind of sucks that these players don't get to come in and be trash. I mean, it's just, to me, it's a part of the cycle. And you know, at some point, obviously they get better. And Charlie Collier, thank you, Charlie Collier. But they just don't have enough teams to do that. And that sucks, because this year I thought was the year of the role players. I think these are some of the best players as far as like role player type of talent. You know what I'm saying? Your Kayla McBride's types. You know what I'm saying? Your Bridget Carlton's types. You know what I'm saying? So that in the future we're going to be looking at them like we look at the Bridget Carltons and the Brides and stuff like that. So it might have been smart for some of them to forego. I definitely think a lot of Raven Johnson, for example, I don't think she should have declared because I was scared she wouldn't make a roster. I get it. Diana Taurasi coined her, all that stuff, but the old guard is winning. So to me, it's possible for her to not make a roster because of how she struggles on offense, things like that. I know she's defensively amazing. She's a floor general, and Raven gonna do everything. She gonna rebound. She gonna be everywhere, do everything. She's super smart, but I just want her to have the best chance at making a team because I think she just deserves to. And rather she learns more in this next year or not, I don't know. My fear was just like, I'd rather her come in on a year where there's maybe more teams and, one of them teams is tanking anyway, like they're not expected to be good and she could stay on a roster and really build and learn versus this year we only got one new team coming. I don't know. They may, I'm not saying they should or would, but it's a chance they cut a Raven Johnson. And we all know she shouldn't be. So, I'm with you on the fact that maybe it is a good thing. It
depends on skill sets. Because you got players like I think like a Sonya Citron, she could be a Rebecca Allen type of player where she'll never be a superstar, but she can be serviceable to so many different teams. So you'll have those, I call them tweeners. They'll kind of stay around the league a long 5+ years just because of their skill set. And like, who doesn't need a big wing that can shoot and play defense? So even if she's not like top echelon good, she'll still be able to stay around like your Rebecca Allens, your Kia Nurses, getting second chance, third chances, because everybody's looking to be the team that says, see, I turned her into the 3-and-D player she was supposed to be. Like, you'll have those right there, but then you'll have those that come in with high expectations, high caliber players, where if they don't show immediate impact, they could end up getting the level of boom or bust, where one team takes another chance on them training camp invite just to see what they got. And if that team passes, the team is going to be like, there's something going on with this player and nobody will give them a chance. Like, you'll have those kind of players. So it's like, it's very weird, how draft picks kind of like end up.
Yeah, for sure. And then another thing, y'all, to take into consideration too, that I think is kind of unfair, but maybe I'm thinking too hard, is like, these girls go from March Madness, right? The top 10 are typically, or top 12 is, and even more are typically in March Madness. To be honest, they go from March Madness to draft night, and then preseason is like 3 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? It's really no break or anything like that. And so it's like, you go to training camp on fumes, so I wonder if they consider that as well for these young ladies before cutting them in training camp, man. So I don't know. I feel like that should be a thought. Prince, I think you frozen. Or is it me? Prince, yeah, okay. Perfect. But yeah, y'all. So, I mean, for me, I just feel like, they should take these things into consideration. They got to let these young ladies into the league, man. Seriously. The league can't just be the old guard. It can't, and only 10% of the young talent and the brands and the all of that. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be it needs to be like that. That's kind of how I feel. So that's just my thought process on that. But hey, we'll definitely see what they do next. We'll definitely see. But yeah, did you hear what I said about the training camp thing? Or no? Maybe not. But as far as the draft goes, let's talk about, and chat, I want to see what y'all have to say for sure. I want to see what y'all have to say before we get into this next topic, though. Before you do anything else, like, comment, subscribe, and share, y'all. Make sure you like the video. If you're on Facebook listening, shout out to you for listening to us on Facebook. You can continue to listen on Facebook and follow on Facebook, but if you can, just um open up the browser and get on YouTube and type in I Am Zone Media and type in WBB Universe and subscribe, y'all. I get it. You listening on Facebook. You just want to chill and listen on Facebook. You can continue to do that. But how you can support the channel from Facebook is by coming over. It's all one word, WBB Universe, and hit the subscribe button. If you're following I Am Zone Media, do me a favor. Follow me as well. Subscribe to me as well. I would truly appreciate it. And vice versa. If you're following me, subscribe to I Am Zone Media. And I would truly appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button, y'all. But can you hear me, Prince?
I can hear you. You can hear me? I'm good.
Yeah, I can hear you. But y'all, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Who will be the steal of the draft? Now, before we even get to steal, right? Let's put the definition out there. What is the definition of steal, right? Because I don't need no answer like Dominique Malonga. Like, that's not a steal. No. Let's get the definition of steal out there. So go ahead. What's the definition of steal for you as far as the steal of the draft?
Steal is someone who you least expect to not just come off the bench, but be a starter, make an impact, help a team get to the playoffs. Because the steal of the draft, you won't notice them in the beginning of the season. The players you notice in the beginning of the season are the players who are first round picks. I don't consider first round pick steals of the draft. They're expected to perform at a high level. They're expected to come in and have a huge impact. 80% of these first round picks are expected to be in the starting lineup or get high minutes. Second round, third round pick, draft, training camp invites, that's steals of the draft. Like outside of, I would say 9 through 12, if they make an all-star, they overperformed in a sense, but they're not necessarily a steal to me.
So you don't think Angel Reese? You don't think Angel Reese was a steal of the draft last year?
No.
Wow. That's actually big. That's big to me, y'all. That's big.
Because Key, you just won the championship in college. You're the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. You was the most outstanding player in the championship run. That's not a steal of the draft. She was just misselected. Like if you say who's the player that was misselected, Angel Reese gets that. She's not the steal of the draft. She came in and did exactly what she did in college. She was supposed to crash the board.
Okay,
she was supposed to have a defensive impact.
When it comes to I hear what you're saying, and I can agree with that. I think the reason why it got steal was because of how much they said she wouldn't translate. I think that's the reason. I think her situation might be the one where we have to be like, all right, like I definitely hear what you're saying, but I think for her, the reason why she ended up being the steal was because everybody was saying she's not going to be able to do what she was doing in college in the WNBA, and then she came and did just that. So I think that's why it became like she was the steal of the draft, because even the GMs, they did that anonymous thing, and the GM said, yeah, Angel was the steal of the draft, or whatever the case may be. So also, I think the steal part for her too, again, this might just be a one-off with her with the steal stuff, which is also what she did off the court as well, was like, she was a steal for a market, because it's like, if she went to any market, she blowing your team up. So I think that might have been why they even agreed that she was the steal. Not only what she did on the court, because they thought she couldn't translate, but also because what she did off the court as far as money wise and what she brings in and the marketing and the revenue she could bring a team. I think that's why she's the one-off of like being like, girl, she's a first round draft pick. She ain't no steal. But it's like, people kind of put it in that perspective for that reason. But I could see why somebody would say, no, she's not.
That's just bad takes.
I could see
Bad takes.
I can see both sides.
Like still in the draft, to me, still in the draft key is a player in college who had a kind of like a mediocre impact on the team. They weren't really the star of the team, but they came into the draft and they had an impact on the team that got them into the playoffs, got them like high level into the playoffs. I mean, it's like still in the, it's, and again, this is my opinion. I don't think every draft has a steal of the draft.
I was gonna say,
you gotta wait for it to settle out. Because I don't think last year had a steal of the draft.
I was gonna ask you who you thought was
outside of, because let's be honest. Let's be all the way 100 right quick. All the way 100. Only 4 players in last year's draft had an actual impact on winning on just team. Let's be honest. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Camilla Cardoso, and you can throw in Rickea Jackson if you kind of want to. She kind of came on later, but I mean, like, again, they carried that draft, and when you actually break that draft down, they're only 0.7% of that draft. If you actually break that draft down, that draft, like, I'm trying to find the right word to say. I think we overrated for what it did for women's basketball, bringing eyes to it. But as far as performance on the court, I don't think that's one of the top 5 drafts. Like if you add in off the court stuff, and then a lot of people contradict themselves because they bring off court stuff. They don't want to add off court stuff too when they ranking players, but then when they want to make a point, they want to bring off court impact. So they got to make up their mind on how they want to use off court impact. You can't have it both ways. You can't have off court impact when you want to make your point. I'm talking when you're thinking of the draft has nothing to do with off-court impact. The teams draft players according to fit, not how many jerseys they can sell. So when you think about fit-wise, that means performance on the court. Only 3 players actually had a real impact in that draft. Cameron Brink for a little bit. She had some 5-6 block games, but again, she was injured. You really can't really talk about her. I wish she played maybe like 12 games, if that. Yeah. I don't remember how many games she played. Like 12. Like she didn't even play a quarter of the season. So like you can't really add Cameron Brink into it, even though she was good in the beginning. So last year didn't really have a steal because that was an underwhelming draft. If you really peel back the curtain and take the fanfare out of it.
As far as like we still haven't even been able to see them shake out because they don't play them for real. I mean, Aaliyah Edwards, yeah. Hold on, let me get to this super chat real quick.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had.
B. Will said, Prince, who was your steal of the 2024 draft? Which I think B. Will probably sent that before you started to answer it or whatever the case may be. Shout out to Dre Stewart for the $2 super chat and B. Will for the $2 super chat. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, Dre Stewart. He said for Prince and for Key. Appreciate that. Okay, so it's like with the I think specifically
Key, let me say this to finish it up though. Let me say this to finish my point. The reason why I say there was no steal in last year's draft is because every GM that passed on Angel Reese is fired. That means that there was just bad mismanagement. Think about that for a second. Every GM that passed on Angel Reese is no longer with that team this year. So I think that's why I say there was really no steal of the draft last year because only 3 players in that draft played the entire season and had an impact. Rickea Jackson came on late, so her impact wasn't like from start to finish. Like all those GMs are fired, so there was really no steal. Steal is when a GM find a diamond in the rough. That's a steal of the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a steal of the draft.
Yeah. Okay. So, damn, what was I gonna say? God, I had a thought. Okay, so I think the WNBA does a lot of these a disservice too because we can't even speak to what we think will be a steal of the draft, even if we wanted to, because they genuinely don't. Like Alyssa Peely, we don't know what she can or cannot do. You know, I mean, we could obviously imagine or base it off of how she played in college. But it's like we don't know what she can or cannot do. We did get to see Aaliyah Edwards for a little bit, but I think then she got hurt. Then Shakira Austin came back. Rakia Jackson did come on late, but even that, the Sparks was 9-20. Their season was bazooka. I mean, it was terrible, regardless of how well she played.
Yeah, and she didn't even start in the beginning. Like she was coming off the bench.
She was coming off the bench. Yeah. Then you had JC Sheldon, right? For the Dallas Wings, but they was just discombobulated. So you kind of like, I don't even know like if I could really see what she's about. And now they done traded her to Connecticut. You know, like, man, I can't wait till they let these players shake out, man, and we could just really see, you know, what they're about and make the proper assessments for their first years. Like, seriously, we really can't assess their first years for real. Besides a Rakia, Angel, and Caitlin Clark, we can't assess it. At the end of the day, let me get this super chat.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had.
Shout out to ST13. They said, I just joined the live. I hope Sky gets Sundale. You and many people, ST13, you and many people hope the Sky gets Sundale. ST13, are you trying to say that you think that would be the steal of the draft this year? And shout out to you for the $4.99 super chat. Look, if y'all got any questions, any pressing things you want answer us to give our mindset on, I know some of y'all appreciate the both of our brains when it comes to this. Go ahead and send a super chat in so we can answer it, because we can't get to every single chat or answer every single one of your questions. So a super chat or a super sticker will be the way. Okay, let's okay. Who will be the steal of this draft? You threw me off.
Yeah, because Key, you got me off topic. You got me off topic.
No. I didn't get you off topic. You explained it, and I like that you explained what you consider a steal of the draft. I still think Angel was the steal of the draft last year, but now that you said it's because for me, I felt like this year is gonna be Anissa Morrow and Isaiah James, but I know Anissa Morrow is going top 10. So by your definition, she wouldn't be considered a steal of the draft, but I guess the reason why I feel like she would be is that I feel like they're doing the same rhetoric that they did with Angel last year, which is like, it won't translate. Is she a 3? Is she a 4? She an undersized 4. What can she do? Is she Nafisa Collier? Is she not? And that's why I kind of feel like Anissa would be the steal, but I know she's going top 10 or maybe top 6. So, with your definition, that makes it harder. So I'm gonna go by your definition. I think that I think Isaiah James. Then I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna stick with my Isaiah because I know she's gonna be probably out of the top 12. I think she's gonna be a second round pick, maybe early second round, and I think she could possibly end up being a steal of the draft. And when I say steal of the draft, I'm not gonna say immediate impact, but I think what she will be to a team in the next few years is gonna be good. Rather that be a starter or off the bench. I just love her bag, and I think she's a special talent that could really help a team and go far. So that's why I kind of think she'll shake out to be the steal. But that's my opinion. So who do you have for the steal of the draft this upcoming WNBA?
I'm trying to see who in the chat said it. The chat went by already. Who has said it? I think they sent through the super chat. Who that was that sent through the last super chat?
Oh, the Serena Sundell.
Yeah, ST13. Serena Sundell will be the steal of the draft.
Y'all, I have to cut him off because I have to put him on blast any chance I get. You know, you do that to your big brother. You got to put your big brother on blast because he did not really mess with Serena, y'all. He didn't really mess with Serena like that. He felt like she was a slow point guard. And now he is saying that Serena will be the steal of the draft. The irony.
Hey, look, everybody. Look,
change their minds.
No, look, Key. My job as one of the best film breakdowns in the world right, is to always take people's information, give my initial point of view, but when I watch film, I see a difference. Because if you're looking, that's why I always tell people, like, if you're looking at a game, right, Key, you don't really put them in specific scenarios and situations. You're just looking at the player and the team itself. Are they winning the game? Are they losing the game? How are they playing? Good or bad in that particular game. But when I do my film breakdowns, I put that player on specific teams and say, how can they fit? That's why I think she's the steal of the draft, because for as great as Olivia Miles is, and I know a lot of people wanted her as the touted point guard for Chicago Sky, if you watch the way Serena Sundell actually plays, and one of my knocks on her is she isn't like fast-paced up and down, but Chicago isn't either. If you watch the players they have, they aren't a fast, they're not the Sparks. They're not about, no matter what point guard they get, they're not about to go up and down, because the point guard can't be the only one going up and down. All four other players got to be able to do that too. And Ariel Atkins, half-court kind of player. Vandersloot, half-court kind of player. Michaela, half-court kind of player. Kia Nurse, Rebecca Allen, half-court players. Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, when she wants to, when she's engaged, Camila Cardoso can run the floor. Angel Reese, half-court player, because she's the one crashing the glass. The person crashing the glass can't be the one in transition. They're the one crashing the glass and kicking it out. If they're taking it themselves, everybody's already ahead of them anyway. So the Angel Reese is quick, but she's not your transition big, because she's the one crashing the glass. Camilla will be your transition big. She can run when she's engaged, but Serena Sundell, the way she controls the offense, the way players respect her, her veteran leadership in college, all 4 years, continuing to grow her assists every year. Like I talked about in my breakdown of her, Serena Sundell led NCAA men's and women in assists per game with 7.3. And she was the only player to lead the league in assists in NCAA history, men's and women history, for as long as the game has been around. She's the first player to lead the league in assists and be top 5 in assist to turnover ratio ever in NCAA history, men's or women. For her to lead the league in assists, that means if you're leading the league in assist, Key, that means you're controlling the ball a lot. That means your ball usage is high. So for her to not have that many turnovers with that high usage, and if you look at the team she played with, they weren't that very good. She didn't have no shooter that shot better than 38% from the three. She had no player that was a great catch and shoot player. She had no good ISO players. For her to really be on that team and do what she did with 7.3 assists shows she can control the offense. She can work in half court, and people believe in whatever she's doing out there. Her hand direction, her eye coordination when passing, things like that, body language. So I think she's what Chicago would need. So that's why, yeah, in the beginning, I was like, she's too slow. But when I did my breakdown, you brought me around to, okay, I can see her. Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Does she fall out of the top, the first round, though, or does she stay in the first round? Because
right now they have her. So right now, every draft board got her going to Chicago at 16. Every draft board got her going to Chicago at 16. Gotcha. Every draft board.
We'll see.
So that's why she's my steal.
Yeah. Okay. If she's going at 16 by your definition and what you just explained, then she would absolutely be a steal or the steal of the draft. I can't really, those are probably the only two I could really, as far as bio definition, out of the first round, talents. You may not have seen the best of them yet, but you could see kind of their potential and what they can do. I think those two. Otherwise, like, I could name other people, but it's a real big if, like a Sanaya Rivers or something like that. It's like, I mean, I don't believe in that player enough to bet my bottom dollar on them, things like that. So I think the players we named would be the steals for sure. Depending on who gets them. We will see. Listen, it's 175 of y'all in here. Please hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button and make sure that you subscribe to both channels. Make sure you support and subscribe to both channels. Shout out to y'all for coming through and checking out Excuse the Takeover. But let's get into this next topic about Te-Hina Paopao. in this WNBA draft coming up April 14th. I was asking myself after her March Madness play, right? And obviously that's, I guess you could say, recency bias. But after her March Madness plays, I was asking myself, does her draft stock drop because she didn't really show up? You know what I'm saying? She didn't really show up during March Madness, man. And she struggled during March Madness. Was it the coach's fault? Well, you know, what was it that Te-Hina just she just had a hard time showing up, y'all. And so I had to ask myself the question, did her draft stock drop? Where would she be now? I haven't looked at any recently. Let me pull up Tankathon, if any of them, to see where she's at even now. But what do you think?
Most drafts have her going to Connecticut at number 8.
Okay, Te-Hina Paopao to Connecticut at number 8. I could see it. I could see that. She was higher though. Am I not wrong? Like now they got Georgia Amore above her. Like that was not.
No, Te-Hina Paopao,
that wasn't a thing.
I think in the beginning she's always kind of been in the same area between that. She's always been in that same area between that. She's been floating between 6 and 9 all year long. She's been between 6 and 9. She's been floating, depending on, because when players get traded, other players end up coming. So, but she's been between 6 and 9 all year long. She's just been going up and down depending on who got picked.
Do you think after March Madness she falls out of the top 10 or no?
She definitely didn't have a good March Madness. Not scoring double digits even throughout the season. 9.4 points, only 2 rebounds, 2 assists. To say she is their only real like shooter in the starting lineup. I definitely expected them to lean on her more as far as like penetration, kickouts, Raven not being the shooter in the backcourt with her. I definitely expect her to show up a little better this year. Senior year experience, winning a championship, coming in with a little more confidence. So I would say she had an underwhelming year, but I always say play styles matter, shot attempts matter. Most of her attempts came kind of like secondary action. Like the plays weren't really for her, if that makes sense. Like just watching her, even in the March Madness, even in the championship game, if you kind of watch, like most of the plays aren't really for her. She's kind of like the secondary, the third action off of whatever set they're running. They're really trying to get it to the big, or they're trying to kick the kits for the 10, 15 footer. Then if kit's not open, they look for Paopao last. And she's she's not like a real Paopao's main problem is she isn't a real good ISO scorer. So if you're not the first action when you're a shooter, and she's a great shooter. I think she shoots, I don't got the stats in front of me, Key, but I think she's like 36, 37% from the 3. You can let me know if I'm wrong or not. But I think she definitely needs to improve her ability to put the ball on the floor, get a 1-2 dribble pull up, being able to get back door a little better. I need her to be more engaged, even though if the action isn't for her. Just because the action isn't for you, don't mean you can't be engaged in the play. Like if you see an opening to go back door, if you see an opening to come off the curl, to call for a screen, hey, screen, and be able to run action off ball a little better, that's definitely going to be a key for her in training camp, wherever she gets drafted to. Being able to just move a little better off ball, finding your own shot without a play being called for you, because she is a great 3-point shooter, but her ability to just disappear can affect her at the next level. And I think GMs are probably kind of saying the same thing I'm saying right now. She's engaged and she's disengaged. And then her defense, she needs to get better at off-ball defense. Her on-ball defense is good, but her off-ball defense, especially in March Madness, even against UConn, was hit or miss. She gave up some back doors. AZ got around her a couple times, like being flat-footed, not squaring up to the rim, not see man, see ball kind of action. So, but if a team can get her and say, hey, we just need you to catch and shoot, we're gonna run 1 to 2 plays for you a quarter, she could have some impact here and there. And again, being around more veterans going into the WNBA, she might be defensive end. You never know. So, because it isn't like she doesn't want to play defense. I think she just gets lackadaisical on defense sometimes. She gets disengaged.
Yeah. Sure, for sure. Yeah, I look at Thon and yeah, they have her at 37% for 3-point shooting per 36 minutes. So I mean, it's like I could see a team kind of assessing what you just said. Is it the system? Is it this? Is it plays weren't run well for her, etc.? Do we take a chance on her because she's, you know, such a great 3-point threat, etc.? And she has the potential, or I see a team passing on her too. You know what I mean? It's like it's nothing about her. Not to say that there's everybody in this draft is like a wow or anything like that, but you know, I wonder if her disappearing does have a team just kind of go, like I'm cool with passing up on her or whatever the case may be. I don't see her dropping out of the top 10, even if she gets passed up on. I don't see her dropping out of the top 10 just because of March Madness. I think they're gonna look at her overall career, things of that nature, and possibly take a chance on her in the top 10 for sure. So but it did just bear the, you know, brought the question. That's how much she disappeared to me, y'all. Like it was like, dang, it was some games where it was like, damn, none of their starters have scored, and then like a Te-Hina Paopao, you definitely expect with as many times as they've been there, with her, you know. And I think she's a poised player too. I think she keeps a cool head. I like that about her, but with all of that, I just thought she would have showed up a lot more, and she didn't. But I heard that may actually be a thing for her. Like I've heard even last year, like Tessa Johnson was the one to step up, not out, even last year. So I mean, yeah, it might be a thing where you disappear during, you know, the big time. So we'll see. Obviously, April 14th, we will see where Te-Hina Paopao lands. As of right now, Tankathon specifically, I know all these different mock drafts have players going every which way, but right now, Tankathon has Te-Hina Paopao going number 8. For y'all, just read them all. So you got paigebueckers number 1. Now they have Dominique Malonga going to Seattle at number 2. You got Sonia Citron going to the Mystics at number 3. You got Kiki Arafin going to the Mystics at number 4. You got Cheyenne Sellers going to, which is jokes to me. Cheyenne Sellers going to the Golden State Warriors. I laugh because they in the Juju sweepstakes. So Cheyenne Sellers and Juju is funny to me. But anyway, number 6, Georgia Amore to the Mystics. Number 7, Anissa Morrow to Connecticut. Don't know how I feel about that. Number 8, Te-Hina Paopao to Connecticut. Number 9, they have Sanaya Rivers actually going to the Sparks. I mean, I just really believe in her upside because Sanaya is so underwhelming for me. But anyways, number 10, they have Sivka going to Chicago for number 10. Number 11, they got Juste going to the Lynx. And then number 12, they got Sedona Prince going to the Dallas Wings. Number 13, Haley Van Lith going to the Las Vegas Aces. Sarah Ashley Barker to Dallas Wings at number 14. Anastasia Kosu, don't know who that is, going to the Minnesota Lynx at number 15 with the pick swap possibly. Or no. They the Lynx just have that one. My bad, y'all. Number 16, Zoe was right. They got Serena Sundell going to the Sky at number 16. They got Isaiah James going to Golden State. Let me tell y'all something, but they better not let Golden State get freaking Isaiah James and freaking what the other Cheyenne Sellers and then possibly freaking Juju Watkins. Like cut it the hell out. Cut it out. All right. So that's about as far as I'm gonna go though, y'all. So That's what we got for like the first 17 I just read. They got Gianna. No, Gianna didn't declare, so they need to take Gianna off of here. But anyway, moving on. So yeah, I just wanted to read that for y'all to give y'all perspective on where everybody's at today. We'll see for next week. But let's get into the next topic. We got the most overrated draft pick or draft stock. What you mean by that?
Most overrated draft stock. So meaning a player that's been overhyped in this draft that you don't think will pan out well. I'll even let you go first. A player in this draft you don't think is actually going to pan out as well as they being hyped up to be.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to this super
All
chat.
I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had.
ST13, shout out to you for the 199 super chat. Says NYT has Serena Sundell going to the Sparks at 9. Okay. They got Odyssey Sims and somebody else though. I don't know if they really. I don't know how they feel about getting a point guard. I know they needed that initially, and that was supposed to be Olivia Miles possibly, but I don't. I would have thought they would have kept their pick if they was just gonna pick a point guard. I don't see why they would pick the point guard at 9, but I could be wrong. So let's see ST13. Okay. Most overrated draft stock. Let me look at this again. Let me look at this list again. Most overrated player. Jesus. I'm laughing because it's forcing me to pick this person, but we already done beefed about this person already. Because for me, most overrated draft, I'm picking between in the first round. I'm not even worried about this because they don't really have any stock for real, the second round. So we got to pick from the first round. So that's 1 through 12. If I'm not mistaken, the first round is 1 through 12 or 1 through 13.
1 through 12.
Okay, because 13 is Haley Van Lith, and I would definitely say I think she's overrated. But 1 through 12, out of all of these people, I'm sorry. I gotta pick Kiki Erifin. As far as overrated,
You gotta get off her. That's wild.
out of all of those people, I gotta pick Kiki. Out of all of those people. I wish they had somebody else on there. As far as overrated, yeah, I gotta pick her. Who you picking?
That's wow.
Overrated.
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you who I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Dominique Malanga. This is who I'm gonna go with Dominique Malanga. Three reasons. Don't you know last year's draft, only one person that was drafted last year from overseas came over? Out of all 14, only one came over. Only one. Second, you got a changing of the guard with how bigs are playing. I need to see her guard people who's going to challenge her versus overseas where they're giving her the treatment of the superstar over there, being catered to.
Wait, is that me or is that you, Zoe? Is that y'all? Is it me or is it Zoe? Let me know. Okay, it's Zoe. Okay, Zoe. I think it's we can't hear you. You got stuck in the middle of what you were saying, Zoe. Okay. All right, he going out and coming back in. But he said Dominique Malonga. Yeah, she does plan on coming. They say she's about to be something special. She has such a high ceiling. But I think Kiki's the most overrated one. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I think Kiki's the most overrated one. I think Dominique will be challenged, but I still don't think she overrated just because she's still that talent. I can't explain what I'm trying to say. I feel like she's still that talent. So that's just my opinion. I mean, I'm definitely interested in seeing how she plays in the W as well. I definitely think it's going to be harder for her. The W is the hardest women's league, bruh. I damn near want to say the hardest league because they just don't even play that. They just don't even play that. But she is, yeah. I think also you got to take into account she 19, so it's like I don't expect a lot out of her first year at 19. I think too. Okay, you're back.
I don't know my wife. I'm tripping right now. I don't know.
You good? You good? By the way, Dominique did an interview and she said she is coming. So, but go ahead.
Man, all of them say that, Key. I got 4 interviews from last year. All of them say that. All of them, Key. All of them literally say that. Last year, Carla literally said she can't wait to play with her teammates. Literally said that. Literally.
Okay.
All of them said, look, I need to see, before I got cut off, like I said, I need to see her in the league where she's not getting the superstar treatment. I need to see her in the league where bigs are challenging her dribble action. She's a great shooter, but I've yet to see her post game really be consistent enough. She likes to play on the perimeter. So I'm interested to see where she actually can't roam on the perimeter, because some teams, people got to realize this. Her skill set might be perimeter shooting, but depending on what team she on in the lineups, she might have to get down low a little more than she actually wants to. Again, I'm interested to see overseers become all-stars, become all WNBAs, like they tout them to be coming into the draft. So I'm going to always lean on overseas draft picks as my most overrated until they give me a consistency of proving me wrong.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. I can see where you're coming from with that. Let me get to this super chat.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had.
Dre Stewart being a clown. Shout out to you for the $5 super chat. So let's take up a donation to get Zoe off that Temu Wi-Fi.
Hey, appreciate the $5, Dre. I got man. I don't know what's going on with my router. It's not my Wi-Fi. My router keep cutting off.
Yeah, it usually does not do that. Yeah, it usually don't do that for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I hope I hope my router didn't do the little default thing where I got to get the new one. They do that sometimes.
Okay.
But yeah.
But
before we move on, Key, Brian Allen Hines, I know you didn't send through a super chat, but I'm gonna read your comment anyway because that kind of makes my point as well. They say they won't come over here. Then when it's time to do their passport visas, they take all day like they're just getting a driver's license, and they end up never coming. Key. The team reporter keeps saying they getting it this week, they getting it this month, and the end of the season comes and they still ain't got their visa yet. So she get a visa first, then we can have a conversation.
This is a great question from B Will. $2 super chat. Shout out to you. Anybody remember Dominique in the Olympics? I do remember her. She wasn't in there long though. She wasn't in there long to be impactful. She got a couple touches. They threw her out there. I do remember her, but she wasn't in there long enough, even for me to even see her skill set that people talk about as well. I didn't really get to see her full skill set either. So I can't really speak on at least her Olympic
All
performance.
I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, I gave you everything I had.
Shout out to Duval. Prince, salute you and keep up the good work. Shout out to Duval for the $2 super chat.
Man, appreciate that, Duval. And I seen your chat, Duval. We all good, my brother. You my brother. We all good. I just don't be getting on YouTube on my own channel that much. My dude.
I could see Dominic Malonga being overrated. I could see Kiki. I could see even Georgia Amore with where she's at now being overrated just because of her height. You hoping for that to not be an issue, but I could see her possibly being somebody who's overrated now because I got
another one, Keith.
What?
I got another one. Some people ain't gonna like this. Some people not gonna like this. Some people not gonna like this. I think Rivers being a top 10 pick is being overrated. I don't think she's ready. I do not think she's enough at North Carolina. I know she came in ranked out of high school as the number 2. I know she won the championship her freshman year at South Carolina, but I don't think that coach developed her enough for the next level. So that's all I gotta say. I don't think
I'm with you on that one too. I kind of just ignored that one, to be honest with you, because that could have been my pick to be honest. But I was like, this is just them even having her in the top 10 is like crazy work to me. So I just ignored it, to be honest. But her being in the top 10 on Tank, I would think Tankathon is the only one with her in the top 10. I would like to see some other ones where she's genuinely in.
No, a lot of them got her in the top 10.
You said what?
I think ESPN got her going to the Mystics, if I'm not mistaken. They got the Mystics for one of their number 3 picks, if I'm not mistaken.
ESPN definitely be wrong.
Again, they updated every other day. So, but at one time they had her going to the Mystics.
They definitely be wrong. ESPN definitely.
Which would make sense. Because they already got Sykes. They're literally the same player. That's what I'm trying to tell people. If you've seen Sykes, you've seen Cheyenne Sellers. You've seen Sanaya Rivers. If you've seen Sykes, you've seen Sanaya Rivers.
So I'm with you on that. Yeah, her being in the top 10, she for sure getting overrated then. She is very low energy. She doesn't, like you said, her skill set wasn't honed. It's a lot of things, honestly, with her that's like question mark to me, to be honest. She didn't even know she was gonna. A lot of people don't know she didn't know she was going to even play in the WNBA. She said until she went to Kelsey Plum's dog class, she didn't even. That wasn't which was literally last year. Well, not even last year, but the end of last year. She went to the Plum dog class and then did this year. So I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see. I do hope she comes into the league and hones her skills, because if she does, she will be a problem. Like, she will be a problem if she does. So we will see when it comes to her. Next up though, hop out of the draft real quick. Let's hop out of the draft and hop into the transfer portal. Y'all. Yesterday we heard it. Taniyah Latson is going to South Carolina. She officially decided to go and play with her former players. She played with Fuwali and with Raven Johnson. Sorry, her name was slipping my mind. So she decided she's gonna head over there. And so when I first heard it, I'm having to digest these little transfer portal situations and really sit with it in my thoughts, because it'd be so off for me. But I'm like, maybe there's something I'm not seeing, so I need to, really think about it. So I want I want to let you go first on your thoughts about Tanaya Latson going there, and then I'll go afterwards. But yeah.
I mean, I don't think she's going there to raise her draft stock, because even right now with her on Florida State last year in most mock drafts, some got her going number 2, some got her going number 3, and the too early to predict mock draft for 2026 class. We got her going 2, 3, some got her going 4, but most have her going 2 or 3 behind Lauren. I think she's going to South Carolina for her draft stock. I think she's going to South Carolina to actually just win and prove that in a winning program, because that'll give her a better option, right? Her so good, her first 3 years, and where people rank her in 2026 class, I think helped her make that decision a little bit easier, because now people know she can score. They know she can carry a team. They know she can be a number 1 option. Now she's going to show other GMs that might want to take her, that has a stacked roster. She can play with other great players, and she could be in a winning program. So I think her going to South Carolina, at first I was like, this don't make sense. I was like, this not her play style. This is not where she should be. But then that was my emotions. I told you, I speak with emotions first, then I speak with my thoughts. After I sat back and thought about it, I was like, hold on. Most drafts have her going high. So, I mean, her going to South Carolina might not be a bad thing if she can at least show that she can still catch and shoot. Her game doesn't regress. She can show she can play defense and play in a winning program. Because she showed for 3 years. She don't have nothing else to prove. If she was able to come out this year, I'm pretty sure she would be the number 2 pick. If she was able to this year, she's the number 2 pick. So I think her going to South Carolina is a good thing for her. She can go compete. She can go play with her former teammates. She can go be coached by Dawn. Dawn Staley gonna give her a good bill of help going into the WNBA draft is a good thing for her.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
So for me, it's funny, you basically took the words out of my mouth, where I was like, you know, I felt the same way. I was like, it don't make no sense. It don't fit her play style. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, that's your bread and butter. You don't change your play style, things of that nature. But I thought, like you thought, I said, you know what? She's definitely she's similar to Hannah, Juju. You know, they take the most shots. You know, she's a scorer, things like that. And so I was like, maybe she's just trying to show on top of over FSU. I kind of want more for myself. You know, maybe she's like, I want a championship before I go. I'm willing to scale it back and go to a South Carolina and be under Dawn, so that, you know, I gotta acknowledge this. Hogboss said, I need y'all to disagree sometimes. You'd be surprised. Me and Zoe disagree a lot, actually.
Yeah. Look, you just got a point to where we kind of like, you know, on the same page, but
on the same page right now, but we actually disagree a lot. We didn't have time to get back into the Kiki thing, so let's just do that. So, but anyway, but yeah, I was like, you know what? Maybe they both work. Maybe even Dawn not changes her system, but you know, she realizes like, I need somebody who could go get a bucket. Like, that's what I feel like I need, or I need to make sure that I have in my pocket, because that was her issue this year. It was her issue this year. She didn't have nobody who could just go get a bucket in the way that Latson does. Fuwali is a whole different story. And so I think for that reason, I could kind of see it now. I'm curious to see it. I mean, I've even sat down and thought about the Olivia Miles, and I'm kind of changing my mind about that as well. It's still different. I ain't even changing my mind. I still think it was a weird decision, but she talked a little bit more about it with Candace Parker. And when I heard what she had to say, I said, okay, like that makes sense. I still think it's lame to go to TCU. It's kind of like Te-Hina Paopao going to LSU. LSU knocked FSU out of it. So Olivia Miles' decision will still be lame to me, but I'm starting to understand their reasoning for going to these teams, what they are trying to work on. Olivia talked about that. I'm sure we'll hear Latson talk about it a little bit more. The news just came out yesterday, so I'm sure once they start doing their press conference runs, all of that, we'll hear a little bit more about it. So I'm okay with it. But let's get into another nook and cranny of it. Are you like, do you think the players that are already on the team are okay with it? And I'm not talking about Raven Johnson, because Raven Johnson is going back because she knows that Latson is coming. She decided to stay. But how do you think the Tessa, the Fuwali, what do you see as the lineup being, things of that nature?
For South Carolina, Dawn's biggest problem will be figuring out how to play Ta'Niya Latson with the bigs, where the offense still goes through the bigs, but she can still get her shots. I think Dawn Staley needs to look back at how she used Te-Hina Paopao last year and say, okay, how can I turn this up 3 notches? Because Paopao is more of a catch and shoot kind of player. She needs to figure out, how can I turn this up 3 notches where Latson could be my focal point. This next year is going to show Dawn Staley's coaching ability to be able to adjust within a game. Because for Ta'Niya Latson, she's going to find out how got minutes with just her being the focal point versus running her typical offense. Like just running a high screen action, getting her, running a curl screen for her with Raven Johnson at the high key, just kicking it to her, letting her go on the right or the left wing, get into her 1-2 pull up. Like get her away from like just the back door, get her at the high key, getting her in action. I think that's going to show next year what Ta'Niya Latson is going to show if Dawn Staley can maneuver her system in a way where she can tweak it to make sure Ta'Niya Latson gets to her game, her attempt, her shots that make.
Damn. I think it's happening again, Zoe. Yeah, Zoe. I think it went out again. Damn, maybe you right in the middle of your what you saying too, man. Man. Yeah, you probably gonna have to go back. Okay, hold on. You coming back now? You coming back? Okay, you back.
I'm back. All right,
Yes.
man. I don't know what's going on with this service, man.
It's all good. It happens. But yeah, I think you were saying
Wait, what's the last thing you heard?
the last thing I heard was I think you was saying like back cut or something like that. Something back door. I think you were talking about
don't like find spot minutes to get her from not having to do back doors. Find spot minutes where she can catch the ball at the high post, being able to just catch curl screens, being able to get to her 1-2 dribble pull up like she likes to do, just being able to get into like ISO without having to run it through the bigs, of her getting a kick out from the bigs, which I think is Dawn Staley is going to start the games off like. Just continuing to do what she's been doing because she's been winning championships with it. Why go away from it? And most of her bigs are coming back. Edwards is going to be another year in, growing, progressing. Kitts is going to be showing teams that she can play at the next level. So I expect both of them to come back with a little more responsibility than this year as well. So I think the key to this all is the key to this all. Raven Johnson is going to have to learn how to manage the shot attempts. And what I mean by that is Dawn can call a set, but she's going to have to take control over the shot attempts, who gets it and when they get it. So hopefully this off season, all of them are working out together. You know, you're in college, so you're apparently together every day. Ain't no avoiding it. I hope that she can That's one thing I think she does need to grow in if she's going to go to the next level of dictating who gets shot attempts and when they get them to keep everybody happy. As the point guard, sometimes you just got to save everybody from themselves and kind of keep the locker room intact. So I think that's going to be her and Dawn's responsibility of making sure everybody gets their shot attempts in a way that keeps everybody happy. Because if Latson is just getting back doors, if Latson is just getting third actions like Paopao got, I don't know how happy she's going to be with that. Even though I know she's going there to just win a championship, I really don't know how happy she's going to be with that, because that takes her away from why she's going to get drafted. She's not going to get drafted for being able to catch and shoot. That's not why she's going to get drafted, for being able to be a bucket getter. And the way Dawn used Paopao is going to take her away from that. So, and for Wiley, that's the wild card in all of this. I don't think she's going to transfer because of the relationship Dawn and her mom has. I don't think she's going to transfer, but I think it's going to take a while for her to be happy with the situation, because Latson coming means she's not starting, and I'm interested to see what her minutes look like. I don't know the draft class they have coming in. I don't know who else they're going to get in the transfer portal. I've been hearing rumors about there's another guard coming. So I'm interested to see what that looks like as well. There's rumors about another point guard possibly coming there. So I'm interested to see what that becomes. But the crazy thing about it is Latson can actually run the point, Key. I mean, she averaged 4 assists the last 2 years. She can run the point. She can play spot minutes at the point when Raven sits down or Raven don't got it going. She can run the point. You can put Fawali in with her, and you can have a dynamic backcourt. But I'm interested to see how that looks. If Fawali is happy with the minutes she's getting coming off the bench, not starting in her junior season. So we'll see.
Facts. Hold on, let me get to this super chat. Y'all funny, man. Y'all are hilarious.
All I ask is, when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had.
Shout out to Brian Allen Hines. For the $5 super chat. Said, all I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow tonight, you think about my comments in the chat. No, big facts, Brian. Big facts. Look, when you send in the $5 super chat, though, put your question with the chat so we can answer.
Yeah, you gotta
put your question with
even if you put all of them. Look, you can ask 2 questions at one time. You can say, hey, I got a 2-part question. Here go my $5 super chat.
Yeah, because that's the only way we could really, because that's the most stand out. The chat be going, y'all. Right now, it's like almost 200 people in here. So it's just going. And so this
and one thing, let me say this, Keith. One thing I want y'all to know is, I said this if you were here last stream, I love going back, watching the video, watching the live replay chat, seeing the questions people have. I literally include those questions into videos. Y'all just probably don't notice it. And again, our show is timed, so we can't really get to every chat because our show is really timed, and we already have a lot of time.
Got a lot of talking points. So we can't get to every single chat because we have a lot of talking points. And y'all, YouTube will let you send 99 cents. You know what I'm saying? YouTube. So if you got a question and you feel like me and Zoe could answer it, Zoe, with coming from playing basketball and stuff and his expertise, and then just, I get confidence on mindset, just send a little 99 cents. You know what I mean? You got to send $5 every time or whatever. Send 99 cents, ask 5 different questions, and there you go. That's $5 right there. But with all the chats and stuff, we can't get to all of them, unfortunately. And so why we could definitely get to, the super chats get prioritized for that reason. But either way, like he said, he includes those questions in his videos that he does in the future. But we'll see. So I'm waiting for him to come back in. But so Latson's bread and butter is she's a bucket getter. She's literally the highest scoring guard in the nation, over Hannah, over Juju. And so it's just, I'm cool with her scoring less, but I just don't want her game to change too much. Now, obviously, there's some things she could work on a little bit, maybe a couple more. If she's already averaging 4 assists, maybe try to average 6. But otherwise, it's I love her game. I love how it is. I love and hate her type of game. Hannah Hidalgo, Juju, like I love and hate their game because they shoot a lot, and some days they shoot your behind out of a game. But I do, like her game, but I feel like Dawn will definitely help her grow in ways. So it's definitely cool. What was I gonna say? But to me, it's like, what's the lineup gonna be? What is the lineup gonna be? Because Latson is obviously starting. I believe Raven's obviously starting at the point. It's Chloe Kitts at the 4 and Joyce Edwards at the 5. And then who's at the 3? You know what I'm saying? Who's at the 3? So that's where I'm definitely a little bit confused on what's the lineup. I've seen people say, no, Malaysia not leaving because she's going to be able to start. Just put her at the 3. No, she's not Malaysia. Unless I'm missing something, Malaysia at the 3. I'm not sure that would make sense.
Malaysia at the 3.
Yeah. So
she doesn't play defense.
Like, I'm not really sure. It's not even just the defense too. Her offensive bag, like Malaysia's offensive bag, is extremely limited to be playing the 3. Like,
the moment Malaysia comes grips and understanding, he's a 6 man. The better she'll be. The better she'll be. Even at the next level. Even at the next level, Malaysia is a 6 man. She's not a starter. Even at the next level, she's not a starter. Her game is too limited. Look, she has generational talent, but to be a generational player, you have to do it on both sides of the ball, and it has to be consistent. She has generational talent with her speed, the way she can get downhill, her shiftiness. But like I told Key the other day, no hating on Fuwali at all. No hating on Fuwali. But I could go get 10. I could go get 10 girls in the hood right now that can do them little up and unders, that little behind the back. ESPN be hyping that up. Man, come to Louisiana. Man, I got 10 girls, and I lived across the street from a girl named Tika. They used to do them same moves. And this was in 2002. Used to do them same moves going downhill. Like, them moves ain't spectacular. Just a lot of women in college basketball don't do them. But you come on the blacktop in the hood, man, you got 3 to 4 girls doing those same moves. They might not be as talented as her.
And let's be clear, it's because they don't allow, like, women's basketball is so cleaned up. They don't allow them to play. Like, the dunking conversation makes me mad because I'm like, okay, y'all be surprised about how many players can dunk. They just don't. Y'all, they just don't do those things. So yeah, Malaysia's, I mean, I think that is what gasses the situation up, for sure. T Carmella, all I want to see next year is that KK versus Malaysia 1-on-1. That would be fire. I had to read it and laugh at it because Zoe wanted to see it in the game.
I was bad too.
In the championship game, he wanted to see them go 1-on-1. That's why it's funny to me. But I don't see her starting at the 3. So she will be coming off the bench if she stays. But then who's at the 3? Maybe that's what she's next in the portal.
That's why I said they're supposed to be having another guard coming that they're looking out for. Because they right now, Chloe Kitts is the only person that can really play 3 on that roster. Like, I'm talking starting lineup. You got some 3s coming off the bench, but
Watkins come back to the 5, but I don't know when she will be coming back because Watkins will be at the 5, Chloe could be at the 3, and Joyce is at the 4.
They don't really have a starting 3. Even Tessa is another player. She's too inconsistent, and her defense isn't good enough for me to play the 3. She's too inconsistent on offense, and her defense just isn't there. Like, when she got it going, she's a talented player as well, but it's hit or miss with her. Some games she got it, some games she don't. I don't know if you want her as your starting 3. Especially if she's going to be guarding the other team's probably best perimeter player outside who Raven Johnson's guarding. You got to, when you're looking at South Carolina's defense, you got to say, okay, Raven Johnson is going to guard the quicker guard. Who's guarding the bigger guard? That's the question you got to ask yourself, and that's how you're going to figure out who's the 3. You milky.
All right, there we go. Okay, so maybe hold on, let me get to this real quick. That was funny.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had.
Really real said the girl across the street named Tika with the last.
Hey, that's facts. Hey, if anybody listening from Facebook, tell me if I'm lying. And matter of fact, Key, she was the point guard on our high school championship girls team. She our senior year, they won the championship my senior year. She was the point guard. Same moves. And she was doing those back in 2002 playing with guys on the black top. The thing is, Key, ESPN hypes it up because a lot of street ball players who got like street ball moves, they don't make it to the next level because their game isn't defined enough.
Yeah.
She was at the right school in the right system around the right people, and her game is a little more refined than a lot of street ballers. So that's why, again, a lot of them don't really make it to the next level.
So I'm with you, like as far as she's a little bit more refined, but I will say that if Dawn is gonna keep her, then you do have to push her to do more. That is what I have to say. Like, either you do let that girl go, or if you're gonna keep her, she is more refined, but hey, Lay, you're gonna have to get a midi. You're gonna have to get better at your 3-point shot, things of that nature. Like, you got to get more things in your offensive bag, and yeah, you got to play better defense and all that. Letting the game get to your head. If you do one thing wrong, whatever the case may be, you get frustrated, and so you're not really that good on defense and stuff like that. She has to stop that stuff. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. He did see that, T. Carmella. That's what we was talking about. He did see them going at it in the fourth quarter. He saw it. He didn't miss it. And then, yeah, Gino sat them down, and he was laughing and saying, dang, Gino, like, I wanted to see that. I want to see them go back and forth. So he did see it. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it seems like so far Tessa and Malaysia is staying. So we'll see what Dawn's gonna do, but I don't think she's done in the portal at all. I think Dawn is trying to get the Avengers together. I think she ain't like what happened this year, and she's like, hey, don't worry about me, sweetheart. Don't worry about me. She like, I'm in that portal. I'm about to get it cracking. I'm about to what they be saying? Avengers assemble. I love Marvel, y'all. I love a Marvel movie, but yeah, Avengers unite or assemble. I think she ain't playing no game, so we'll see what she does. I think by April 28th. I think I've been told April 28th is when the transfer portal closes. So we'll see. Wink, wink, Kim. Wink, wink. The hell, you need to get it. Look, these teams ain't playing in this portal, so you need to do the same thing, Kim. You gotta do the same thing. But yeah, speaking of portal, let's talk a little bit more about kind of what the portal does to the game, what the portal does to college, what the portal does even to the WNBA, because it all matters. It all goes together. Has the transfer portal ruined loyalty and team building? I've seen a couple different people, Dejanay Carrington, ironically, and Diamond DeShields
right.
Man, I was like, girl, be quiet. But then I seen Diamond, who transferred multiple schools, Te-Hina Carrington also say, I think you should only be allowed to transfer one time and then redshirt. These players who didn't get to capitalize off of NIL, wink, wink, speak on the portal and it's messed everything up and all of this other stuff, man. I just feel like, has the transfer portal ruined loyalty and team building? Ruined is a dramatic and big word per se. And now obviously it affects it. It's going to affect those things. Especially when a player decides to transfer, things of that nature. It's going to affect it. But I don't know if I could say I feel like it ruined it. I feel like it's a thing. They're talking about it like it's the one and done. And that's what I don't agree with. Like, I think a one and done would ruin the WNBA. Some people don't agree with that. Some people think the WNBA should have a one and done, but I don't care for the one and done. But they talking about it like it's the one and done, and I don't feel like it's that. I feel like it's these. Finally, for one, we're talking about the women, by the way, and what they go through. So lack of money. They just paid the women for March Madness this year. This year is the first year they paid the women. And if you even saw the pay discrepancy between the men's and what the women get paid for March Madness, you got to think about those things, y'all. These women who their families depend on them, things of that nature. They need that NIL money. So them having this agency over themselves is important. I don't think it's ruined it to the point where, it should be talked about, it should be stopped or changed just yet. A lot of what I'm seeing is freshmen, players who were on the bench and wasn't going to get to play anyway. And then possibly top-notch talent, like top-notch as far as, number one draft picks, Olivia Miles and Tania Latson, going from certain teams to another team to possibly gain more from being on that team. Tania going from FSU to South Carolina is obviously a big jump and a good jump for her. And I think she deserves that. So I disagree that it's ruining it. I disagree with Diamond DeShields and Te-Hina Carrington in their statements on how they feel about it. But I don't know. What you think? What do you think about the transfer portal? And do you think it's ruining loyalty and team building per se?
This question, when I was thinking about how to word this, I was looking through articles of what people said. That's why I came up with the word ruined, because it was floating around a lot over the past couple days. Versus like just controversial. A lot of people were saying it was ruining the sport of basketball in college. So that's why I wanted to make sure I included that word in the subject line. It's twofold for me, man, because I love player empowerment. I love players being able to control their own destinies, because sometimes teams can fail players just like players can fail teams, right? I mean, 1 year you'll have like 2 to 3 players that get failed by a team. The next year you'll have 2 or 3 players that fell a team that was supposed to make it all the way to the championship game, right? So that's why I said it's a real tricky situation, because it's twofold. You even have coaches who, just because they recruit a player and still leave that same summer, and now the player stuck in limbo, they got to go play for a coach that they probably would have never played for if that would have been the coach recruiting them. So it's a very tricky situation. And at the same time, you got some players who go to schools to play with other players. If that player wouldn't have been there, they wouldn't have got there. Now that player got to stay there because they don't want to be in the transfer portal, because they like consistency, right? So I think the team building aspect, though, I think you transferring in college because you're still building out your game, I think that hurts a lot of players at the next level, because the team keeps having to change its play style every year because you don't have that same kind of team coming back. So like it's really like hit or miss with the transfer portal. I think over the next couple years, there's going to be less players going into the transfer portal, because I think some players' draft stocks are going to certain teams because they're going to these teams because of they're going to these teams because of their mindsets, but GM's not looking at it like that. GM draft off of skill sets and fits. So you being on a certain team one year, a GM might turn a GM off going to another team because you want to go there because of mindset. You don't like the coach, you don't like a player on this team. So I think over the next couple years, you'll see less players that are like profile high draft picks. I'm not talking about your third round picks. They're going because they want to go play for a good team, win a championship, because they might not make it to the next level, right? Training camp invites, whatever. But I think those first round picks, you're going to see less and less as the years go on, because I think a lot of their draft stock is going to plummet because, again, sometimes players do one thing and GMs are thinking another thing at the next level.
I got you. Okay.
I mean, there's no loyalty. There's no loyalty. There's loyalty in sports, period. Even at the next level, GMs and owners trade players all the time for just salary cap reasons because they don't want to pay next year. So there's no loyalty on either side. Players will leave a situation because they want to go play with their friends, even though they say they're here for the long haul to win this team a championship. It happens. There's no loyalty in sports. There's lottery in the locker room building. Now, team, it will, I think 100% it will affect team building.
Yeah, I mean, for sure it'll affect team building. If you got somebody who's a key piece and they say, I'm about to leave, I'm about to go, right? Like, what's USC about to look like? You know what I'm saying? Howell done left, Heckle done entered the portal, you know, things of that nature. This was the number one, you know, and now it don't even mean nothing to go, hey, you got the number one freshman class, because it's like, hey, they may not even be here next year. You know what I'm saying? Because USC had the number one freshman class this year. This year they had the number one freshman class. Howell about to leave. Heckle might leave. Maybe some other.
Which is their best shooter.
Howell is. Yep, is their best
shooter.
So I mean, she went to Washington, Kelsey Plum's old team. I actually don't know a lot about that team, so I was like, interesting. But I mean, it'll affect team building, but I think it just puts another. I think what it's gonna do is it's just gonna put another level to these coaches, these the staff's job of keeping players happy, making them want to stay. More incentive to create winning programs or programs that help these players in you know, all kind of ways, to be honest. And that's probably frustrating for them. You know, they're probably like, I mean, we just didn't want to deal with that. But hey, you know, they get paid the big bucks. These colleges pay them well for the most part. So I just think it adds another layer to their job, forcing them to have to be able to, you know, hold on to this talent and them not transfer away. But I mean, it's not, I ain't gonna sit up here and act like it's the coach's fault or anything like that when players transfer away. I don't want that to be a narrative either. You know, that it's like, oh, you know, Niel is the reason why the entire Notre Dame is leaving. Like, that's not necessarily how I feel. These players are going to do what they want with their lives and their careers. And sometimes that has nothing to do with the coach in that way, you know, in a negative light. You know what I'm saying? Because even when Olivia finally said today about on the show, she was just like, listen, I need people to trust me. I've talked to Mark. We've had conversations. And it's a way for me to be a pro before going to the pros. This is her mindset now. You could disagree with it. I, for one, disagree with her choice. But her mindset was she wants him in this situation to help her be a pro before going to the pro. She wasn't comfortable going to the league off of her first year of injury. Similar to AZ, I think she wanted to get another foot, you know, get her feet up under her. And she felt like Mark would be the best one to help her with that. And, you know, they've had thorough conversations about what that's going to look like and how she'll be able to run the team, etc., and be a pro and show up as a pro. She's also going for another degree at TCU. She's going for another degree at TCU. So, you know, those were her reasons. Sometimes where you're going has more reasons for where you're going than your reasoning for leaving, if that makes sense. It's like, I don't even hate where I'm at. it's not an issue, but where I'm going has, you know what I mean? It got the snacks. There's no snacks here. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes it's not an issue with the organization you at. So yeah. I mean, we'll see over the years, more of, you know, what the portal does, how that continues to change things. I think people's thought processes too, Prince, is that it's going to turn it into, when Kevin Durant went to Golden State. I think a lot of people don't like that. Like, it's this, like, you could turn a team into like a bionic team, or like a team that you just can't beat. You know, players are going to team up to play together and win a championship. But I just don't think it works like that on the college level, if that makes sense. Yeah. I think it works like that on the pro level just because of how refined that talent really is, the offense that they're running, etc. I think in college it's way different. To just be like, I'm going to go to this team with these other stars and we're going to win a championship. I just don't think it worked like that in college. So that's my opinion, but I think that's what people are thinking it's going to turn into. So, I mean, we'll see. Listen, it's 153 of y'all in here. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're on Facebook, come over to YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to both channels. You can continue to listen on Facebook. You can continue to follow over there. But a way to support the channel is definitely to come over and subscribe over here. Hit the like button, comment, share, hit the all notification button so you know every time we drop another banger, another Excuse the Takeover episode. Man, we got into some great topics, y'all. The WNBA draft, the portal, who's playing where, play styles, who's transferring out, and what they should do. This was a great conversation around, you know, all that's going on in women's basketball. Listen closely, y'all. April 14th, we will be live. We will be live for the draft. April 14th, we will be live for the draft. There will be multiple places you can access the live from. You'll be able to access it on our personal pages, but you will also be able to access it on Stars Hoops Central, which we need you to follow that page as well. That's how you support. So follow all the pages, follow all of our pages, but follow Stars Hoops Central because we'll be live there and live streaming from our personal pages April 14th. And we'll be live prior to it. We're going to be live about an hour before the draft. We're going to kick it. Y'all get y'all snacks, put y'all kids to bed early. You know what I'm saying? Put them to bed early. I know 6:30, 7:30 is early, but look, put them to bed. Look, it's an early day tomorrow. Y'all got to go to sleep early. Get your snacks. Come kick it with us for the draft. It's going to be a good time. It's surely going to be some shockers on who gets picked where. So I'm excited to see that. So y'all make sure April 14th you come back to our pages or Stars Hoop Central. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm going to drop it in the chat, Stars Hoop Central. So you guys can go subscribe to that channel as well. Listen, personally, y'all, I think YouTube is messing with my algorithm. I was sick.
Mine too.
Yo, Zoe, we're not going to, then I got to talk to you after this because I'm like, it's something going on, man. It's something going on. I ain't going to get into that. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, y'all, if you want to follow, but you can type it in the bar, Stars space Hoops space Central. There's an S at the end of Stars and an S at the end of Hoops. But you also can access it from our page, y'all. Make sure y'all come through April 14th. It's a Monday and check us out. I'm going to drop the trailer for y'all. Give me 1 second here. Check it out.
No room for complaints. Bounce that thought, let the dialogue reign. Star Hoop Central, we reign in the game. Fast break the logic, no time for delay. Full court press, every word that we say. From zones to the man, the schemes we unweave. Breaking the box score, we don't just believe. Debate in the key, where the clutch get defined. MVP stats or the heart in the grind. Legends get forged in the fires of our chat. Star Hoop Central, where the real game's at.
Last super chat, $2 super chat from Hogboss337 said, what y'all think about 5'11" guard Kara Dunn? I'm guessing you saying 15.5 points. Zoe, I don't know much about her. I don't even know what team she on.
Not a good player. She gonna be overseas. She gonna be overseas. Nothing she does impresses me. Like she'll be overseas. Now, can she score? Yeah. But outside of that, she'll be overseas. She ain't that impressive. I mean, she don't play real good defense. So I mean, you know, she's at Georgia Tech, Keisha. I mean, Key. She's at Georgia Tech.
Oh, she's at Georgia Tech. Okay, I'm gonna check. I actually watched Georgia Tech this year, so I may just not have known her name or who she was. I'll go check her out, Hog Boss. We'll see.
Yeah. She's the light skin one.
Okay, I'll check that out. I'll check that out for sure. But look, y'all, Monday coming up, April 14th. I believe the draft itself starts at 7:30 Eastern, but we'll be live at 6:30, maybe even 6 Eastern. We'll keep y'all locked though. I'm gonna post some stuff on my page so y'all know throughout the week what we're gonna do. I expect to see all of y'all there and in the chat. If I don't see you there, it's gonna be an issue. Trust me too, y'all. I have a photographic memory. Trust me, I have a photographic memory. If you're not there, I'm gonna know it's gonna be an issue for me. But look, y'all have to make sure y'all like the videos, comment, subscribe. We don't say that. Look, trust me, I don't want to spend my time saying that. I have to say it because it keeps us in the algorithm. YouTube be playing ghetto games and be trying to keep us out of it. So y'all have to support us in that way. I know y'all love our content. I know y'all see all this other content out there that you don't like. So if you want to see more of us, just make sure you support by like, comment, subscribing, hitting the all notification button. Come on over from Facebook and support over here as well. And then just keep listening on Facebook. You got any final thoughts, though?
Yeah. Look, y'all engaging with the videos after they end helps us stay in the algorithm. Also, if there was an important question moving forward, if there's an important question in the chat that we didn't answer because you wasn't able to send to a super chat or you wasn't able to, whatever, add it to the video. Once this video drops, add it back to the video and we'll answer it in the comment section. So if there's a question that y'all want us to answer, go to the video once it ends and add it to the comment section. And because we interact with our subscribers after videos drop. So just FYI, if I know some people in the chat ask questions because they had question marks last to them, but you didn't send in a super chat. That's why we didn't get to it. So ask them after the video drops and we'll get to it.
Facts. For sure do that, y'all. And then, it's neither here nor there, but listen, y'all, YouTube lets you send through 99 cents. Surely you got, I know you be Uber Eatsing, man. I seen the Starbucks caramel macchiato you got this morning. I saw it. I seen it on your story. You can send through a 99 cent super chat to ask your question. You ain't got to send in $5, $10 every time. Send in 99 cents with your question. If you got 5 different questions, then there you go. That was only $5. Cut it out. You Uber Eats yesterday, man. I seen you. You got the oxtails with the rice and peas and the mac and cheese. Oxtails ain't cheap. Come through for y'all people, man. Y'all know that's how you support and donate. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much. I don't have any more final thoughts. Just make sure y'all here for Stars Hoop Central on Monday. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Central. You got Excuse the Takeover. Come through and support y'all. And we're going to catch y'all on another one. Be safe. Be safe. We're going to see y'all next.
Excuse the Takeover. Taking charge. Women's game front and center. Living large. Hit that subscribe. Stay tuned to the ride. We bringing the heat. Never gonna hide. Analyzing chat. Every stat. Interact. Breaking barriers. paigebueckers. No cap, that's a fact. Leave a comment below. Watch the growth unfold. Together we gon' make this story be told.